Welcome, everyone. Trish, can you hear us? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Welcome to the May 2024 public budget hearing and Meet the Candidate Night. We are all present except Donna was not able to be with us tonight, and Trish is with us up on the screen. Thank you, Trish. Can we, everyone rise, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, if you can. I pledge allegiance. So the next item on the budget is the budget process and remarks on the budget, and I will do that portion of the meeting tonight. I'm pleased to discuss the expenditure plan proposed for the 2024-2025 school year with you this evening. The Board of Education administrative team, district faculty, and staff have worked collaboratively to develop this proposal. I'd like to begin by thanking everyone who contributed to the process. During the budget development process, our main objective was to uphold our programs while being financially responsible and proactive with long-term financial planning. As a result, we've made considerable efforts to maintain our longstanding tradition of excellence at a reasonable cost. The proposed budget for the fiscal year 2024-2025 increases spending by 2.66%. The resulting tax levy increase of 2.69% is just below our allowable cap. During the budget development process, the district's mission and vision played a crucial role in prioritizing items that will help achieve the district's long-term sustainability goals, as well as create safe, innovative, and engaging learning environment. To accomplish this, the district proposes for long-term sustainability, 8 faculty and staff positions were eliminated through attrition and reduction of force this year. Since 2008, a total of 49 positions have been eliminated. For personalized, innovative, and engaging learning, the district will maintain its high-quality educational experience. Investments will continue to be made in the district's one-to-one technology program. Instructional, athletic, and building equipment will be replaced as needed. For safeguarding the community's investment, the district will continue to invest in painting, carpeting, and flooring. We are planning to meet the upcoming state mandates through utilizing available state and federal funding sources, along with our vehicle replacement plan schedule. For this reason, residents will be asked to approve the purchase of one 65-passenger electric vehicle school bus, also known as EV buses. That will be a separate proposition. The district plans to use the awarded grant funds and allocations to make the cost of an EV bus comparable to that of the replacement of a gas bus. To finance this purchase, we will issue a bond anticipation note. The first of 5 debt service payments will be made in the 2025-2026 school year. This will be the 13th year of purchasing buses through a budget proposition and financing them over a 5-year period. Therefore, a prior purchase will come off the debt payment schedule when one is added, which levels the impact of taxes. We will use the same length of loan terms as previously used with the gas buses to finance the purchase of EV buses more effectively. This approach will help us maintain consistency in loan repayment schedules and align the financing of EV buses with existing practices for gas bus loans. As a result, we will be able to manage our budget effectively and comfortably transition to a more sustainable fleet without significantly altering our financial strategy. For a capital outlay project, the proposed budget includes a transfer of $100,000 to the capital fund. This transfer will allow for the replacement of doors and door hardware to ensure safety, as well as enhancements to the gymnasium. The cost of these upgrades will be offset by a 10% state building aid in the following year. The Board of Education would like to express their gratitude to everyone who contributed to the budget development process. We hope that the district will continue to receive overwhelming support from the community, which has contributed to many years of success for the students of Lake George. For more information on the budget, please visit our website at www.lkgeorge.org. The next portion of the budget is the remarks on revenues, and Marianne McKenzie will do that.
Thank you. The Board of Education is pleased to present a budget proposal that remains within the tax cap while providing personalized opportunities for all students to become lifelong learners, leaders, and global citizens. The district has taken into account the importance of creating a sustainable budget for the future. By being conservative in spending, planning carefully, and managing finances prudently, the district can minimize the tax burden while maximizing the educational opportunities for students. Maintaining a stable tax rate and minimizing the tax burden on residents is a priority when developing the budget. Lake George has one of the lowest tax rates in the county compared to schools across the state. Property owners contribute 87% of the operating support. For 2024 through 25, the district is proposing a tax levy increase of 2.69%, which will yield an additional $577,000 in property taxes. Based on the current 2023 tax information, a $300,000 home in the Lake George School District would experience an increase of about $51, just under $5 a month. State aid accounts for only 10% of the district's revenues. Despite the challenges and controversy surrounding the governor's budget proposal, the district will receive the same foundation aid as in previous years for the 2024 through 25 school year. The district also faced additional hurdles due to contractual obligations and significantly increasing premiums. To help offset burden on taxpayers and balance the budget, the district will strategically appropriate fund balance and reserves. For 2024 through 25, the district plans to use $467,077 from the appropriated fund balance and $150,000 from appropriated reserves, which together represent about 2.4% of the district's total revenue projection. In conclusion, as your school board, we are committed to managing resources carefully in order to continue to fulfill the community's vision for the district and its children for generations to come.
Thank you, Marianne. The next item on the budget is the budget presentation, and Bonnie Hart, our business administrator, will do that portion.
Thank you and welcome. As leaders of both our community resources and the future of our children, we approach the presentation of our school budget with a profound recognition that our children are our most treasured assets. In the faces of challenges from economic uncertainties to evolving educational needs, we uphold our commitment to nurturing the minds and spirits of the next generation. Our foremost duty is to provide our students with an education and opportunities, all while maintaining unwavering fiscal responsibility. Creating the budget is like putting together a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. You know what you want the end to look like, but you start with just a pile of disconnected pieces. As you work through it, you start to connect the pieces to the funding sources, turn a few pieces upside down, and put it all together. The process, though, is not without its challenges, such as a critical piece of the puzzle goes missing. However, ultimately, the pieces fall into place, which requires a lot of foresight and financial planning. The budget process is not merely a once-a-year task. Rather, it's an ongoing event that unfolds throughout the entirety of the year. The budget cycle encompasses several key stages, each crucial to the financial health of our district. The first stage is preparation, where we meticulously analyze past expenditures, anticipate future needs, and engage in dialogue to prioritize the well-being and academic advancement of our students. The next stage is followed by a rigorous approval procedures where every allocation is scrutinized against our district's mission and vision, ensuring alignment with our overarching goals. Once approved, then we enter the execution phase, where resources are diligently allocated. Throughout this phase, we remain true to our commitment to fiscal responsibility, ensuring that every dollar is utilized efficiently and effectively. And as a final stage is assessment or execution, pardon me. As the fiscal year progresses, we enter the evaluation stage where we meticulously assess the impact of our budgetary decisions, identify areas of improvement, and adapt our strategies to better serve the evolving needs of our students. We put in front of you a fair budget in which we prioritize student needs, align to the mission, vision, and values of the district, support existing programs and initiatives, demonstrates fiscal responsibility, fulfills contract obligations, and preserves the small school community with big school opportunities. This slide just provides all of the numbers in the budget. We're looking at an overall budget of just shy $25.5 million. That is an increase of $658,707 from last year, or a 2.66% increase. Our tax levy includes $22,030,000, which is an increase of $577,000 from last year at a 2.69, which is where we were allowed just slightly below the cap of $237. Some of the budget highlights, we've stated several times, maintains existing programs and services, fulfills our contractual obligations. New for next year, we will have a UPK program. We will be in phase 2 of our door replacement cycle. We have some equipment built in for our building and grounds. We desperately need a dishwasher in our cafeteria, so we have that built in. The budget is to support day-to-day operations and our routine maintenance and mandates. We will have a new phonics program at K2. Along with that is the professional development for that program, new program, as well as existing. Classroom and athletic supplies, and a capital outlay, which will include gymnasium enhancements, door replacement, and door security hardware. The budget looks at, the district looks at all avenues to save money. Some of the areas we do, I think that's cut off a little, but is to utilize New York State contract and cooperative bidding through BOCES and through our local BOCES Health Insurance Consortium. We also use our local BOCES Workman's Comp Consortium that ensures us the cheapest rates. New this year, we have a Medicare Advantage plan for retirees that are eligible for Medicare. New York State School and Municipal Consortium to purchase gas and electricity at reduced rates. For the 2024-25 school year, we will be configuring bus routes, looking for consolidations and more efficiency. We have a decreased number of outside full-day programming participants. And as previously stated, this budget includes 8 positions that were eliminated through attrition and reduction of force, which brings a total of 49 positions, or 22%, since 2008. The budget allocation process each of the previous months involved dividing the budget into 3 key areas: non-instructional, instructional, and undistributed. The undistributed portion of the budget, which encompasses benefits, is then distributed to the other programs. This distribution and all associated costs are categorized based on one of these 3 categories: administrative, program, or capital. This is known as a 3-part budget and is required by law. By organizing the budget in this way, the school district can ensure the resources are appropriately allocated to support the necessary operations and services across different departments. This visual just shows those 3 components in the allocation. You could see the bulk of the pie here is our program. Briefly mentioned in the opening statements is our revenues. You could see the bulk of our revenues, again, is through real property tax, followed by state aid. Real property tax is a 2.69% increase to $577,000. If I jump down to state aid, with the restoration of the hold harmless, we are looking at a slight increase of state aid based on expense aid, as well as our UPK allocation, which we have not had in previous years. And you could see the allocation of reserves and fund balance pretty consistent or close to last year. And here's the pie chart of our revenues, again, heavily real property tax, that 87%, followed by almost 10% of state aid. This table shows the 6-year history of where we came in with the tax cap. The middle column shows where we were, what we were allowed, and the right side shows where we came in for budgeting purposes. And you could see over the 6 years, we've averaged around that 2%. Understand that the tax cap starts with a 2%, and then there's exclusions that allow you to raise it from there. That's why the allowable is higher than 2 in many years. This shows the local impact on the tax bills. If all variables stayed the same as last year, such as property assessment, state equalization rates, star exemptions, what the impact would be on a $300,000 home for this budget. However, realistically, the tax rate per $1,000 does change each year based on reassessments and equalization rates. Now, a side note, because Lake George School District is impacted by several towns reassessing, Queensbury and Fort Anne in particular. Very often a reassessment results in an actual decrease in your tax rates. This can cause individual tax bills to go up, go down, or stay the same. You should not assume that your taxes will go up if your assessment goes up, nor can you simply multiply the old tax rate by your new assessment to calculate your new tax bill. This example is hypothetical, saying everything stayed the same as last year in terms of assessed values and equalization rates. When a reassessment occurs, a shift of the tax burden to those property values who have risen faster than the average. The process does not review or result in new revenue for a town or school. Rather, it generates the redistribution of the total amount of the pie among property owners. It is a common misperception that a reassessment will automatically raise taxes and be a windfall for schools when this is not the case. This slide shows our state aid compared last year to this year. Again, the foundation aid was restored. We don't know what to expect for the future. There is a study being done with an ambitious time frame of December 1st to indicate what the future will be. The expense aid is projections. So this is state aid based on what we spend. So it is projections at this point. And you can see there is an increase plus that UPK allocation. Our budget history, you could see in the middle column, the overall budget, in the right column, the increase in dollars. There were some years there where it was a 0% or 94,000. Keep in mind, those are the pandemic years where there was a lot of federal funding. This pie chart shows the allocation of our expenses. The largest is our personnel, salary and benefits, making up 77% of our total budget. From there, services, including BOCES, contractual maintenance, professional services, and tuition. Our smallest part is actually equipment, materials, and supplies. And then our intertransfer funds is to debt service to pay our loans. Our cafeteria fund, special aid fund is for the extended school year funding that we as a district are responsible for, as well as our capital outlay. We are required to report out our fund balances and our reserves. Please keep in mind this is balances as of June of 23. So they're not today's numbers, but they were last June. We will have accurate numbers once our fiscal year closes this June and it gets reported out in the fall. Our unrestricted fund balance, by law, we are allowed to keep 4%, which is $992,000. This money is there for emergencies, for things that are not budgeted for, and there's no strict use. You can use it for salaries, you could use it for supplies. Reserves, once money goes into reserves, they are in a category and they can only be used within that category or transferred from one reserve to another reserve. So once money is in a restricted fund balance or a reserve, we can't take that money and put it back into the general fund for salaries, let's say. So the capital reserve here is for the new bus facility. Again, this was last June. So this year we've been moving forward with it. So we had some expenses. So you will see that's going down because that's the money we are using first. The repair reserve is exactly what it sounds like. It's for repairs, emergency repairs, which we have utilized that this year. Tax hurt has stayed stable. Workman's comp, unemployment, many of these have stayed pretty stable. Employee liability is for paid out accrued benefits. ERS is employee retirement system. TRS is the teacher retirement system. And also hope to replace when we do our fund balance. If our budget is defeated, then we have three options. We could put the same budget back up for a second vote. We can put a second budget up, which is lower, or we could adopt a contingency budget. If the budget is defeated a second time, then we must automatically adopt a contingency budget, which would be $25,106,000, which is about $300 and almost $400,000 less. We, by law, would then be required to eliminate all equipment purchases and non-contingent items. In the list, the state has a long list of those. Once you remove those items, then we would have to make some other additional cuts in certain areas, not as huge as we were looking at with foundation aid. As previously mentioned, we are having a separate proposition. The separate proposition is not to exceed $160,000. This is to utilize existing funds and the grant awards that we have received to purchase an EV bus. The cost of a new gas bus is $170,000. So this proposition to get an EV bus will keep us pretty consistent with a gas bus, which allows us to ban it or financed in our terms over 5 years instead of many people suggest the cost of an EV bus will need an 8 to 12-year loan payment, but we are fortunate with our rebate that we were awarded to keep it at the 5-year. And also start working towards the mandates that are coming towards 2027. There are a lot of resources. They may have already hit home or are going to hit home real soon. We have a front back newsletter. There's a budget book that is required. They're available in both buildings as well as the local library. Online, there are a bunch of resources. These are locally developed resources. There's a QR code that just explains some of the things we've been talking about through the last couple of months. The difference between tax cap, tax levy, tax rate is always one that people struggle with, and how all our opportunities for our students, our extracurricular, our programming, our accomplishments and recognitions. So I certainly encourage people to look at all of those resources in your free time. And our budget vote is in 2 weeks, May 21st at the elementary school from 11 to 8. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Bonnie. It's, great visuals, great explanation of things. Thank you. I think we asked so many questions along the way that we don't appear to have any tonight. Thank you. The next item is public comment period. And just going to read a little something before public comment that I read every month. The Lake George Central School District Board of Education welcomes district residents, parents, and other interested persons to its meetings. Community involvement at board meetings is encouraged so that the board can better understand and represent the views of its constituents. Please be aware that by law, individual student information or particular personnel items cannot be discussed at public sessions of the board. And tonight's public comment period is for items related to this agenda, which is the budget. Please tell us your name when you come to the microphone. Statements are limited to 3 minutes. The board and district staff take public comments very seriously and take careful notes of questions and concerns so that they can be addressed as soon as possible. Do we have anybody here who would like to make a public comment tonight? No? Okay. The next, if anybody is attending remotely, we can't answer on the spot, but if you did have a question or comment, you can send it to boe@lkgeorge.org. Did I get that right? And that will come to all the board members and the superintendent. So the next item on our agenda is adjournment of the meeting. Do I have a motion for an adjournment? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned. But stay tuned, there's more. Want me to go? Hello.
You're first on the.
Okay,
you
okay,
won the coin
okay,
toss.
okay, all right.
First.
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. As Mary Ann said, my name is Katie Bruning and I'm in my 6th year on the school board here at Lake George and I'm the current board president. It's an honor to have the opportunity to run for another term on the Lake George School Board. I've had the good fortune to work together with my fellow board members to help build a high-functioning governance team. And we did that through continuous learning and thoughtful communications, which includes deep listening. We are proponents of shared decision-making and have put strong district policies and board procedures in place. We're a mission-driven team, and we strive to live by the district's CREATE values, which are collaboration, respect, excellence, accountability, trust, and empathy. And this is really an important mindset and way of being as we navigate our future here at Lake George. As our small school gets smaller, we must be creative with our resources in order to maintain the abundant, wide-ranging student opportunities that have long been a signature of excellence and a source of pride at Lake George. Diverse academic opportunities and extracurricular choices are a hallmark of a Lake George education, and they're essential in meeting the needs of the whole child. Partnerships and imaginative ideas are more important than ever. I'm inspired by the dedication of our administrative team, educators, and staff here at Lake George. And I really appreciate the enthusiasm of our parents, community, students, and alumni. I've witnessed firsthand the power of teamwork, trust, a culture of kindness and caring, and strong leadership. I'm deeply devoted to this wonderful district that has given so much to my family, including my husband Glenn, my son Carson, and many nieces and nephews and their parents. I'm committed to upholding and nurturing the momentum of success in our district while asking important questions to ensure that we're always in growth mode and on a continuous path of improvement and excellence, creating the best learning environment for all of our students, current and generations of students to come. And I hope you will all go to the elementary school on Tuesday, May 21st, and vote in support of our district's budget, as well as Jeff and me as your school board representatives. Thank you again for being here tonight. Hi, Jeff. You're
All right. There you go. Step one, turning on the microphone.
Did it.
There you go. My name is Jeffrey Meyer. I moved, I'm married, my wife Samantha. I have 3 kids, all in the junior, senior high school currently. Drew is in 7th grade, Wyatt is in 10th, and Ainsley is in 11th grade. We moved into the district in 2015. It was a conscious decision. I grew up in Albany. My wife is not from the area, living in the South Glens Falls School District, which is, a wonderful school district. My biology teacher, who I loved, was actually still a biology, had moved up here and was the biology teacher in South Glens Falls at the time. But ultimately, for my family and for the needs of our kids, we opted and sought out the Lake George School District. It has the commitment for excellence. It was known throughout the community. It had smaller class sizes. It had opportunities for sports. It had a lot of different opportunities that you would only, kind of truly find in a small school district. So we did make the decision to move up here, and I'm kind of humbled and pleased to be able to throw my hat in the ring and, run for this position. It is the first elected position that I've ever sought. My day job is I'm a local attorney. We own a law firm in Lake George. We do a lot of municipal work representing towns, villages, special districts, planning and zoning boards. Also do a fair amount of real estate work, land use, and small business advice and counseling. This kind of hallmark of my position is being able to listen, provide the best advice I can under the circumstances based on goals working within the law. And it is, so if elected, it's something that you'll probably, see for me sitting up here is that, I kind of listen first, digest as much information as possible as questions were appropriate. But for the most part, my first move is to do that and listen. One of the reasons why I decided to run was, I was aware of the opportunity. Tricia Biles was unfortunately going to have to step down from the board. And having seen the growth of the growth of the board and decision-making process that had been ongoing for the past few years was something that, I thought I could be an asset, kind of lend my expertise and help continue the transition. As an outsider who hasn't been a regular attendee at the meetings, but having kids in the schools, Lake George, the school district is truly at a crossroads. Rent continues to decrease, property values continue to increase, And, you know, kind of around when we bought our house in, say, 2015 was really when there was a switch. It was a clearly visible switch. You know, it's really hard to find a $200,000 home in Lake George. The budget looks at a $300,000 home as an example for the budget and tax reasons. You know, those homes generally don't come on the market. And, you know, how do you keep the school attractive to the families that are here with, you know, declining enrollment? You know, the programs are what make, you know, kind of Lake George special. My middle son was recently in Texas with the VEX program. They're all playing spring sports. And it's, you know, how do you try and strike that balance to continue to provide that programming? I guess I do not like talking about myself, so, you know, I don't have the experience of all, you know, all these accomplishments that Katie has went up here. But the other thing I'll add is, you know, I am a strong proponent of public education. I'm a product of the Albany High School District, and I'm proud of that. And I will tell anybody that'll listen that, yes, I absolutely went to Hackett, and I absolutely went to Albany High, and it was a wonderful experience. My grandmother taught at Hackett. My mom taught at Albany High. You know, I come from a long line of educators, and, you know, certainly recognize that the teachers and the administrators need support from their school board. So, you know, look to the school board for guidance in terms of direction of the school and philosophies moving forward. So that, I guess, is a little bit about myself, and certainly would welcome questions to and concerns. And I guess there's a meet and greet.
We're gonna mingle and have cookies and.
There we go. Please don't hesitate to ask me anything. You know, I'm happy to answer, you know, anything and everything about myself and my profession, and would certainly welcome essentially getting to know everyone here on the board within the Lake George community. My wife is out and visible and social. I am less so, but it's more just a function of work. It's not a function of anything beyond that.
Let them eat cake,
Well,
walk around and